welcome everybody, and welcome to another El Cachorro video. It is I, the great, the iconic, the legendary El Cachorro, here with you once again, as we are going to continue our Jurassic World Evolution 2 news and notes. Last one obviously was the trailer reveal, which we talked about, and some of the information that came out. Speculated a little bit here and there. Some tweets came out kind of giving us some more information, not really worth reporting. One of my theories was that Brachiosaurus looked like a younger Brachiosaurus because it was smaller. They have said that juveniles and babies are not happening, so that theory turned out to be nothing, but that wasn't a big deal. Kind of thought that would be a stretch for them to do that anyways. They did confirm there's going to be multiple flying reptiles and multiple marine reptiles, which I'm pretty sure we all kind of thought there should at least get more than one of those. Speculate who could some of the other ones be. We could make a video on that if we wanted to. Some of the people have already done that. I think some choices sound pretty locked in, and some are maybes. But today's focus is going to be on a feature focus that was released. And they also announced that they are going to be doing a stream with the devs as well. I'll have to catch because it's probably happening while I'm working, so I'll have to catch it after the fact. See what goodies we learned from that. But so I thought here, let's just go. I did a quick read over this once already, but we'll go over it in a little more detail and see what are we talking about. So boom. Put me back. So the feature focus is all about dinosaur acquisition and management. English. Alright, so it starts off. Hey, here, you watch our announcement trailer. We already done that. Over the coming weeks and months, they're gonna make a couple of these posts. Sounds like, so we're gonna keep an eye out for those. Get a nice picture of the Nosoceratops there. And the Margosaurus. We've developed the process of acquiring and bioengineering dinosaurs for your parks. Extracting DNA from the fossils allows you to build and then create them for your hatcheries. Headache. So this is one cool change I like here. So pretty much you'd go in, you'd select the dinosaur, you'd select the genes, and then you cultivate and hatch a dinosaur. Pain in the ass part of that sometimes would be, especially everyone's favorite was the Stegosaurus, who had like a social needs group of like 4 or 5, and at best you could only, if you only had one hatchery, you could only make like 3 at a time or something like that. So you had to bring them out and then hurry up and make 2 more, and hopefully you could hatch them and get them in the enclosure before your Stegosaurus got mad and broke out, which was a pain in the ass. So like mostly, there's maybe a few other ones that had that issue, but Stegosauruses were by far the quickest and temperamental, and you couldn't really make them. So it's not, so what they're doing is, for this one, we're going to get the hatcheries can now create and release several dinosaurs at a time, letting you populate your parks with more dinosaurs a lot faster than before. This process is going to be split into 2 stages: synthesis and incubation. Synthesis, you're going to create a clutch of eggs and apply it. So that's the part where you're going to do your genetic modifications, looks out to them, and put in your gene tweaks and stuff like that to get your social traits, your lifespans, your skin patterns, your colors, so your gene typing. And once you do that part, you're going to see what desirable and undesirable traits you got for your dinosaurs. And then incubation, the dinosaurs are raised inside the hatchery, and then they can be released into your park. So you can make like Stegosauruses, and you go through, and this time, and you set all your types, and it's going to apply to, I guess, a clutch of eggs. Don't know exactly if there's a set amount or how that works. And then they're all going to grow up and at least like a whole herd of Stegosauruses, like a group of Stegosauruses. Much cooler and more realistic, because you're not gonna just grow one dinosaur at a time. You're gonna, you're gonna pretty much micro-invade like a clutch of eggs. So that's kind of awesome. I like that step, that change a lot. So dinosaurs can also be released in groups from a single hatchery, so the dinosaurs you bioengineered can start exploring the new world together instead of going one at a time. Another feature we're excited about is a remote release, which lets you transport dinosaurs directly from a hatchery to a different point on the map. This lets you separate hatcheries and enclosures. So I think so. So I'm saying. So I guess you don't have to do the whole release dinosaurs from the hatchery, trank dinosaurs, then transport dinosaurs over to here. And I guess you can go in and say, okay, I want these guys automatically to go to this one. Little quick change, taking away some extra nonsensical BS gameplay time. Because unless you had the hatchery built into the enclosure, yeah, that was the technique. You would release the dinosaurs into a pen, trank them all, and then once they were all tranked, wait for them to get tranked, then you have a tele-transporter come and pick them up and take them here. It's like an unnecessary game loop. Just like the, so this is like, so it looks like we're skipping all that. Just release the dinosaurs. I want to put them in this pen here, and I don't know if there'll be an animation to compensate for that or not, but definitely a nice step to get rid of that excess, ridiculous gameplay time that you would have to be forced to do that was really unnecessary. So cool change there. So I like those changes a lot. Those are really good changes. Bioengineers is the only way to get your dinosaurs. You can, certain modes will allow you to transport dinosaurs into your park from the wild. So there will be loose dinosaurs in the wild, which we got that on Isla Sorna in the campaign that when that came up. Is I believe when you would get to that island, there was like a bunch of speaking of stegosauruses, a bunch of stegosauruses and a spinosaurus running loose on the island, and you kind of had to capture them before they would attack your parks and stuff. So I guess we're going to get stuff like that, where there'll be dinosaurs roaming freely on the area that you're building. And in some of those, some modes allow you to transport the dinosaurs into the park from the wild via remote capture and narrative events, and in some levels there will be wild dinosaurs in your surrounding area that you need to locate, tranquilize, and transport back to your facilities. So yeah, so obviously it says that's part of it there, but saying that's not the only way to do it. So see, now that's the interesting part. So how are we going? So how does do you send expedition teams out to go find the dinosaurs? I believe I mentioned this in my last video, which I thought there was no way in hell they're doing this, is where you can get in your Jeep and you go drive around and I'm going to go find a Triceratops. So you do expedition mode or something like that, and you just have to go drive around and find a Triceratops to try and get capture. That sounds like way too much gameplay, but dude, that would be so awesome. But it sounds like we're somehow doing something about going and capturing dinosaurs in the wild that might not be on the map screen. So it's very, very interesting there. So I definitely want to hear more about that. Needs and requires further closures. Do you need to fill? Blah blah blah. Water controlled. The basic stuff there that we have always had. So here's the interesting part about dinosaur behavior. Dinosaurs will naturally create territories inside their enclosure based on their environmental needs. They will also seek to expand their territory if they aren't satisfied with what's currently available. Territories are a new feature, allowing you to design more flexible enclosures. You also need to put more thought into where you place your viewing galleries, as dinosaurs will roam around a lot more than they did previously. You're not guaranteed that they will stay in the same places for long periods of time, especially if you have a big enclosure. So your dinosaurs will exhibit new behaviors and react to their surroundings. We've added new animations to when dinosaurs are resting, socializing, walking, running, hunting, and fighting, making them more realistic and natural. Carnivores suited for it will engage in pack hunts and show a more dynamic range of movement when taking down prey. Dinosaurs that are considered prey might be able to escape predators and continue living, after a visit from the park's medical staff, of course. Wounded and sick dinosaurs can be treated in the field by the Mobile Veterinarian Unit, a new park team we're introducing. Major injuries will need to be treated at the Paleo Medical Facility. We will have more about share about that at a later date. Okay, so we got a lot there. All right. So your dinosaurs are going to like certain parts of their enclosure that best suit them. They'll have to be territorial. So if you have two mixing dinosaurs, one could say, this is my territory, this is another one be like, this is my territory. So it will also affect where they typically will hang out more. So you got to plan for that to make sure that they're going to be in view and not if your enclosure's too big. If they like, so you got your viewing galleries up front, and your enclosure's big, and they like this back area, they might just hang out. The Triceratops is like might just say, hey, we just like back here, and they won't be very viewable. Interesting, Rico. That's interesting. That could be interesting. Then let's break down the next part. We got all kinds of new animations, which is awesome. We needed that because they're kind of not many in the last one. Pack hunts. We kind of got a hint on that, or somewhere else that they mentioned pack hunting. So like your small carnivores and stuff, like your raptors and stuff like that, will do pack hunting to get hunt something, which is really cool. What I really like though is that the herbivore can escape an attack, can escape and survive attack. So last game is the herbivores were laughably a joke. They were pretty much always going to get their ass kicked by the meat eaters. Most of them were just instant kills, just auto kills. No that. And a lot of the ones that could fight back half the time weren't strong enough to even put up a fight, like your Trikes and your Stegos and your Ankylos. Odds are they were never going to, when they get into a fight, they would most likely going to lose. Sometimes, they pull off some wins here and there. But usually, it was like a... So hopefully, this, I mean, don't mention, the herbivores that can fight, if they'll be stronger to fight back, but herbivores that can survive an attack and get away is pretty awesome. Then we're adding into that, we're bringing in two new features, the mobile vet team, which go heal, which you kind of could do that with the Rangers, kind of had that little option where they could go heal stuff. So they're just taking that away from the Rangers, making that a new team. But we're also going to get the hospital, which is kind of very Planet Zoo-ish. You have an injured animal in Planet Zoo. The vet comes, takes the animal to the animal hospital to work, fix the animal, and then bring it back to its enclosure. So it sounds like we're getting something similar to those lines there. Cool aspect. But I really like, so a lot of stuff, really good stuff right there. That's really cool stuff. The several dinosaurs share the same enclosure. Their territories might, as I was talking about before, they might overlap and might start to see fights for dominance. Luckily, which is also kind of, so I wonder, hopefully that's going to go further than what we've had. We've had some kind of, we get some kind of interactions like that and fight for alpha status in the last one, but it was really very mediocre. They just like kind of roared at each other, and then one would like back down. So like, can we see Triceratopses and other surges like ramming together to fight and stuff like that? Which is also, they kind of have those kind of fighting for dominance in Planet Zoo as well. So I'm hoping they've learned a lot from Planet Zoo and realized, okay, we need to bring a lot of these kind of behaviors in, because that's what a lot of people really want. So we're going to get that. Luckily, certain species get along better with others, letting you create peaceful enclosures by housing compatible dinosaurs. So dinosaur enrichment, which Planet Zoo also kind of had, especially like these two animals you can put together to work well together. Oh, and like I said, there might even be bonuses to your dinosaur and park ratings if compatible dinosaurs are in a enclosure. Very next line is exactly what I was talking about. So you partner up the compatible things there. Very cool. To stay stop on the welfare needs of your dinosaurs, your ranger teams can link to a ranger post that can be placed inside the enclosure, which answers the magical question of what this box right here was that everyone was trying to figure out. Ranger post that can be placed in your enclosure. This will be visited by rangers when they're out on patrols, letting them scan every dinosaur within the range of the post. You can still task your ranger with scanning an individual dinosaur in case you need an update on how they're doing. So your rangers are going to use these posts, or you can individually assign them to go check on dinosaurs. Hey, how's this dinosaur doing? How's he feeling? Or she. Or, yeah, whatever. So, yeah, changing up the rangers' gameplay a little bit so they're more like zookeepers. So, I like that. And then the ranger cam stuff. So there's some really cool new features here. We hope you're ready to take on the challenge. Blah, blah, blah. Very excited to take in. Join us on our next feature focus for a look at the customization and the different ways you can put your unique touch on both dinosaurs and park buildings. So next one around, we're going to get to find out how that customization options that they're saying, which there's been a lot of speculations, like can you change colors of buildings? So far it looks like buildings are set in stone. Maybe you could change some colors, maybe tweak some slight options. Doesn't look like it's like fully build your buildings from scratch. Also, like the aviaries could possibly so some questions along those lines. So I guess we'll find out about that. Like I said, we got this doing a live stream, which I'll have to go back and watch later after the fact. And we haven't got dinosaur species or field species profile, whatever they're calling them this time around. I mean, we only got one so far, unless I missed it. I haven't seen another one, but hopefully we start getting some more of those. Hopefully maybe work on some of those other animals that we might be getting. Like I said, if I wanted to speculate, obviously the Mosaur and a Pterodon are obviouses. I'm going to say a Dimorphodon. Dimorphodon will definitely probably get added. The bird with the beginning is the Quetzal. I'll just call him the Quetzal. I highly expect that will be added. The only reason I don't think that might not get added is if it's going to be in a Jurassic Park Dominion DLC. Would be the only reason I don't think that would be in it. And then we got a couple, and then from the marine side, I think a Plesiosaur, which is one of my favorites, so I think is a definite. And then we could that could go a bunch of options after that. And we could go with an Plesiosaur. She could go with the Archlon giant sea turtle. So a couple other options you could go with there. But that's just, like I said, we could do that speculation all on our own. But that's a breakdown of this first feature focus. Really, really cool changes that they're making that sound really cool. Like a lot of the animal behavior stuff changes. That sounds, and the hatchery stuff is a much, much needed improvement. So just stay tuned until we get more information. Till then, Cachorro